Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Glass Seats. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal, and in this episode, we're going to have a bit of discussion here about the modern goaltending in the NHL. Prompting this discussion, Connor Hellebuyck becomes the third fastest goalie in NHL history to 300 career wins, doing it in 538 games.
It's kind of
He's
wild.
having a great season.
Yeah, we were talking about it right before we hit record. Vezina seems like it's in the bag.
Oh, absolutely.
At this point,
Yeah.
Is he going for the Hart, maybe? Like, as the league MVP?
I can't remember the last time a goalie won the Hart.
I have no idea.
Carey Price, I think, won it once.
In what, like 14, 15?
Something like that, yeah.
Jeez.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So a goalie winning the Hart again,
It might be time. It's 10 years or something like that? Assuming
Yeah.
this stat is even correct. I have no idea if it is. But every once in a while you just see a generational goalie. Is this like the new Carey Price of the generation?
I feel like there's been a new Carey Price for a while, right? It was Andrei Vasilevsky, who is currently actually first on this list of 300 wins, doing it in 490 games.
See, the thing is, I'm not discrediting Vasi. I'm not.
Yeah.
He's an incredible goalie. But man, look at the team in front of him.
Oh, what? Like Winnipeg's
Winnipeg
bad?
is stacked too, but
Yeah.
I still think you put Tampa v Winnipeg in a cup final, like the Tampa team from a couple of years ago. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the one with like Blake Coleman and
the
Gaudreau
back-to-back
and
champ
Tyler
team.
Johnson. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a team that takes down this current Winnipeg team.
That team was world beaters.
Exactly. Yeah.
No one was stopping them.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean by like I'm not taking it away from Vasi, but like the team in front of him. Incredible.
Yeah.
They knew how to win games, right? So
Yeah. I don't like this discussion of naming one goaltender the best. And I know as sports fans, we want to always name one player as the best.
yeah.
But I think goaltending always has a few guys that define every generation.
Okay.
So right now, if you had to, let's limit it to three. If you had to pick three goaltenders who are the best in the league right now, it's Vasi, Hellebuyck, and Shesterkin, right?
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet. Yeah.
That's the top three.
Yeah.
You can switch out one of them for Bobrovsky, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
And if you look back at the Carey Price era, there was three names that dominated. It was Carey Price, it was Henrik Lundqvist, it was Jonathan Quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those three dominated goalies, right? So I don't like this, like, are we picking the best goalie, right?
Right.
But I think a few goalies define an era. And kind of between those two eras that I named, there was a bit of a lull in goaltending talent where teams started going to this method of having two goalies and, splitting the course load a la Boston last year, right? Are we seeing teams go back to the single starter model? Because now we're seeing Hellebuyck dominate play. We're seeing Vasilevsky's been doing it. Even this year, you're seeing teams like emerging goaltenders like Jake Ottinger start to take more load for their team. Or Anthony Stolarz, who's injured, unfortunately, but out in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right? They're looking for that goalie to take 50 to 60 games.
Right.
Are we going back to that model?
I see it both ways because it's funny that you bring up Ottinger because during, what was it, 2020 that they made the cup final?
Yeah.
I think it was. They were rotating between, it was him, Kudobin, and Holtby, that's right. Yeah. And so Ottinger was still young at the time, for sure.
Yeah.
Like 2 years since getting drafted, I think, maybe. So it was hard to say. So I think there's a case to be made where there's a team that needs to 1-2 goalies, like just like cycle through two different goalies or three. And then you have like the big dog and then the backup, right?
Yeah.
Like, so Connor Hellebuyck, he doesn't need to prove himself. Like
he is the big dog.
He is the big dog, and same with Vasi's a big cat, but so that's kind of proven. We don't need to we don't need that proof anymore. Whereas if it's a young guy, I think it's almost valuable to kind of like rotate him in. Same with like Askarov. I could see Askarov becoming the big dog eventually someday, but I don't think it's smart to put all this pressure on him when he's so young.
But what about someone like Thatcher Demko out in Vancouver, right? Where he's not super young, but he is someone Vancouver has not really given that 50 to 60 games just because health issues and things like that. And goalie wear and tear is a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
We saw like the Sharks run Nabby into the ground during all those competitive
and then
years.
he had nothing for the playoffs.
Yeah.
We saw it happen to Marc-Andre Fleury a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's had extremely long career.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all like glory, right? Like there was a couple of bad years.
Between the 09 Cups and the 16-17 Cups, there was some
there's some
bad years there for Pittsburgh in there.
Yeah, for sure.
But there is benefits to the tandem model, especially when you take into account the wear and tear, right? But if you can find that big dog goalie, is that better for your team?
I mean, I think it, man, I think we're seeing the benefit of that right now in Colorado with Mackenzie Blackwood, especially his play right now, but also having, I almost feel like he's gotten better after inking that 5-year extension. Everything's like settled now because I'm sure everyone knew, Sharks fans knew that he was not going to stay in San Jose. He had played out of his contract level, his AAV or
he was playing above his contract.
Yeah, like the Sharks were not going to afford that, especially with Askarov coming up the pipeline. And so just from a family life perspective, as a human perspective, once you lock down that contract, you can like go all or dial in on hockey, right? Like I think we're seeing that with Mackenzie Blackwood, and I think him turning into that big dog has become evident. So I think there's some wear and tear, but I think it's good to know that, or for the Avalanche, it's good to know that they can rely on this guy. I think being that big dog put a lot of confidence in that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can I give you an exact flip of the situation?
Okay.
Jeremy Swayman in Boston.
What about him?
Boston went from the tandem to the big dog.
Yeah.
And it has not worked out. Gave him the big contract and everything. He has not been good this year.
Is that an off year for Swayman? Is it just...
I mean, probably. He missed training camp.
Yeah.
So it might be an off season.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard to say then, right? Like, is it just an off year? Should you panic? Or, or you know what I mean? Like if I'm Boston, I'm just going to be like, whatever, shit happens. Like, he might bounce back next year, right? We've seen it so many a time. Like,
so you're saying if you can get a big dog, you should?
Yes. Because of the amount of... how do I say this? The amount of confidence that is instilled into net, becoming this guy and having that veteran experience. I would say a lot of the big dogs, like, they're veterans, right? Like, no, if you're a rookie and you come in hot, like, everyone's going to be like, prove it, do it again. Like, nobody's going to believe you, right? So even if you like look at Jordan Binnington. Yeah. He came and saved St. Louis this season. I cannot believe he didn't win the Conn Smythe, but everyone was like, prove it, do it again.
And didn't.
Yeah. I mean, he's still there.
Fine.
Yeah, he did fine, but he didn't play.
And he's also become more of a tandem now with Hofer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, it doesn't always necessarily, it's got to be a veteran, right? Yeah. So I think having that presence just makes everyone else on that ice, maybe even the coaches, feel a little bit safer. So
no, I think there's merit to that. It's the psychological aspect of knowing your net's taken care of.
Yeah. You know? And so, like, again, sure, Swayman's not been spectacular this year.
Yeah.
But if I'm Boston, I'm not friggin' panicking about it.
Yeah, like, Boston also has other problems. But
Well, yeah. But that's beside the point. But like, I don't think they're gonna immediately point at Swayman and be like, you know, you got to get out of here. Like, no, not a chance. Not a chance, right? Like, we've seen what he can do. Just let him do. Like, Bob, how many times have we talked about Bob being
this, and then he finally wins a cup.
Right, exactly. And like, is he going to be Vezina Bob? Is he going to be like
unplayable
Swiss cheese Bob? Yeah, like no idea. But either way, the Florida Panthers never gave up on him, and look at what he did last year in the playoffs, especially.
Yeah.
For certain goalies, you just don't worry about them. You just let them do their thing and let them prove who they are.
Okay.
Or fail doing so. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, that's where I stand with it, at least.
All right. Interesting discussion, I think, at least. And let's see if we see the return of the big dog goalie.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on goaltending NHL in the comments below. If you like this episode, drop a like on it. Hit subscribe if you want more glass seats. We have multiple episodes out every week. See you in the next one.
Bye.